Hello everyone, this is KenBroTech from KenBroTech and welcome back. So in the last video, we looked at how we can use the creators to restrict users from abusing our website so that they only get to specific pages they are required to. We also looked at how we can use or implement some logic to assign specific user roles. We also learned on how we can use the Django inbuilt permissions to assign some kind of restrictions to pages that registered users can have access to as against an admin. So in this video, you are going to look at how we can build a profile page. So remember, this profile page is actually a dead link. It doesn't lead anywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come into VS Code and we're going to have profile linked to our user. Okay, so every user is going to have a profile one way or the other. So I'm going to come into the views, and like we've always done, we need to create a view, then after which you create a URL and a corresponding template. Okay, so I'm going to create the profile function based view. So this is going to take in a request. We've seen this before, and we are going to return render, and the first parameter we pass in here is the request and the name of the template. I'm going to put in this over here, but then we are going to build it out soon. So we are going to say profile.html for the templates. Okay, and I think that's just about it as far as our profile is concerned. We are not going to pass any context yet. And yeah, so let's go into users, inside our templates folder, users, and we are now going to build profile.html. So I'm going to click here and we are going to have profile.html over here. All right, so we'll come back to this, but then let's go into to build a URL for it because that's equally important. So as far as our users are concerned, or our user app is concerned, we are building all our URLs within our projects folder. So we go into projects urls.py, and here we need to specify a path for our profile. So our profile path is probably going to look like the register, because you're also going to pick up the view from the user view. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to copy this and Ctrl+C, and I'll just paste it down here. And all that I need to do is to change this to profile. So I'll change this to profile, and the function I want to call is the profile function I just created, and the URL is going to be user-profile. All right, so I think with this we are in business. So let's come back here and come and build our template up. So within this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the login view and just go and copy this, because we need a dashboard. We need the navigation bar and the bootstrap, which we are getting from the base.html. So I'll just copy this and put this over here, and I think I also have to bring the block content over here. So I'll do block content and I'll end block over here. So as far as our profile.html is concerned, we already have this built out, and I think we built it out when we are building our templates. So I'll go into dashboard and I have profile over here. So I'll open this up in Notepad, and I think what I need to do is to copy. Yeah, so I'll copy this. I'll do a Ctrl+C over here and come in here and paste it. So I'll just clean things up over here, and I'll do this and come up over here and also clean this comment, because there's not a table, but then that's what we use. All right, so when I save this, and I think that's just about it. So when I save this and we come back into our projects as we have over here, if I should do a /profile, okay, we have this built out over here, but then this should be linked to this URL or this link, and this link is actually in nav.html. So we'll go into nav.html, which is going to be in our partials folder. So this is nav.html, and I think this is just about where we have to put our link over here. So we've done this before. We are going to use the template tag. We open and close it and bring out the percentage sign. So I'll do URL, and over here I'll do user dash profile. Okay, so I think this should work now. If I should come back here and come and refresh, when I click on dashboard, it sends me here. This is what I've built. And when I click on profile, I'm directed here. So we have our view working and our URLs is also working. So now let's go and see how we build our database. So we are going to go into models.py in our users. We are going to go into models.py, and I'll close these ones up over here. So inside models.py, the first import I'm going to run is, I'm going to say from Django.contrib.auth.models. I want to import the user model. All right. So basically what we are trying to do is, our profile is going to be an extension of the user who is registered. Okay. So the user, upon registering, will have a profile. Okay. So I'm going to create in a class profile over here, and profile is actually going to be models.model. We are going to inherit from the models, and the first attribute you specify is going to be the staff. Okay, because the staff is going to be linked to the user, or the profile is going to be linked to the user who was registered, who is apparently a staff. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to say models dot, and this time around we are using the relationship one-to-one field. So one-to-one field, remember we've already spoken about the foreign key. Now this one-to-one field simply denotes that one user is to one profile. All right, so the next obvious thing is, which model are we linking it to? And it is obviously the user model. That's why we needed to run this import over here. Then the next thing we are going to do is on delete, and we've seen this before, models.cascade. So this probably answers the question: if a user is deleted from our database, then clearly there's no need keeping the profile in there. So once a user is deleted, automatically the profile gets deleted as well. And we are going to see examples as we move along. Then over here, I'm going to say now is equal to true. We just want to be safe as far as deleting and adding data is concerned. Then the next thing, or the next attribute I'm going to specify, is the address. So with this, I'm going to say models dot, and this is going to be a char field or a character field. I'm going to specify a max length, and for the max length I'm going to say 200 for the address. Then the next one is going to be a phone. So for after 200, let me also specify now is equal to true. Okay, so the phone is also going to be models dot, and also I'm going to use the character field, and I'm also going to specify a max length over here. And for max length, I'm going to say 20, and also now should be equal to true over here. Then last but not the least, I'm going to also add a profile image over here. So for the profile image, I'm going to say models.image field. So this is going to be the image field. Now there are a number of things we can specify over here. Now I'm going to say default. So we are going to provide a default image if none is given. Okay, so the default image is going to be an avatar image I have, and I think it is a JPEG, so JPG, and we are going to say upload to. So this upload to is going to be a file that is going to be created, okay, or a folder that is going to be created, and we are going to see things in action very soon. So upload to, so I'm going to specify, I'll say profile underscore images. Okay, so this profile underscore images folder is going to be created. Then what I'm going to do obviously is to have a string representation of my model. So I'm going to pass in self over here, and I'll say return. I think there's a mistake over here. Okay, so I needed to So I'm going to say return, and we are going to put out a formatted string over here. So as far as the formatted string goes, we put in the curly brackets, and I'll say self dot, and this time around, and I'm going to show you this over here. I'm going to self dot staff dot username. So self dot staff dot username, then I'm going to add profile over here. Okay, so this is what is happening. Now, as far as staff is concerned, staff is going to inherit, or staff is being linked to the user model. So staff is more or less like an attribute or a child of the user model, and you want to identify or want to pick up the username from it. Okay, so this is basically what's happening. Now, as you may already know, immediately we create a model, we need to migrate it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in Python manage.py, then I'll say make migrations. We've seen this before, so I'll press enter, and as you can see, it says this model has been created. So we are going to say Python manage.py, then I'll run migrate in order to migrate the model properly. Okay, so I have no problems over here. Then what next I'm going to do is I'm going to go into admin.py. We've seen this before when we registered our model, so that you can have access to it on the admin panel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run an import over here. So I'm going to say from the current models, I want to import, and I want to import profile so that I can register it over here. So over here I'm going to say admin.site.register, and which model do you want to register over? I want to register profile, so I'll type in the name of the model over here. So when I save this and come back here to come and refresh, when I go to home, so you have our profiles model registered in our dashboard. Now when I click on profiles, we can add some profiles in here. So clearly we can add in user, and these are the users we created. So we can have one for our admin, and for the address I'm going to choose University of Ghana, and for the phone number I'm just going to say this is the phone number, and into dashboard I have these images over here. So I'm going to click this, or I'm going to choose this for my admin one. So when I save this, see that a profile has been created for admin one over here. Now it is interesting to know that if I click on this image, we are having some problems over here. This image is not showing as it's supposed to show. Okay, so it says the current path profile.image didn't match any of these. Okay, so the image actually, as far as Django is concerned, are rendered like URLs. Okay, so there should be some kind of URL to that effect, and we are going to see how we handle this. So in order to work our way around it, I'm going to leave this in the description below. So I'm going to type in serve Django media files, and this is actually in the Django documentation on how to handle media files. So we have this over here. All right, so just about here, so we need to specify a media URL and a media root. So we'll go into settings.py, and we are going to come back to the Django documentation. So we go into settings.py, and inside settings.py, so just about here, I'm going to specify a media root, and we are going to see how this works out. And we're also going to do something for media underscore URL, like we saw in the documentation. So for the media URL, you are just going to type in media. Okay, so this is actually going to be a media folder that is going to be created over here. We are going to see it very soon. Then for the media roots, it's going to bear some resemblance with the static root over here. So with the media roots, I'm going to call this tuple over here, and I'm going to say base directory, and inside this I'm going to say media. All right, so this is what we have for our media root and our media URL. Now I'll come back to the Django documentation, and I'll come and copy this. So I'll do a Control C, go back into my This time around, I'll go into my project URLs. So inside my project URLs, I'll have to paste this. Now these are imports, so I definitely have to cut this and send it up here. All right, then what I need to do next is to get rid of this and let this appear over here. Okay, so what have I done? We've imported Django.config, and inside that we've imported settings, and we've also done from Django.conf, okay, .url.static import static, and this is actually going to help us serve our media URL and our media routes, and these are going to be rendered in here. So if I come back into my admin panel and try and refresh and click on this, we can clearly see that the error we got from the beginning is different from what we are seeing now. And it says that what it is looking for the image. Okay, it is looking for the image in profiles, profile image / the name of the image, but it does not exist. Okay, and that's simply because of what we did first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this profile as we have over here. Then I'm also coming here to delete this profile image that we have over here for a folder. All right, so and I'll start the whole process afresh. So what I'm going to do is inside here I'm going to create a profile for admin once again, and I'm going to choose this address. The phone number is going to be as I've specified over here. Then once again, let's choose this image for our profile image. Now when I save this, we have this working over here, but then let's switch back to VS Code. Now in VS Code, we now have this media folder that has been created, and this was as a result of the specifications we made over here, okay, for the media route and the media URL. So inside this folder, then we have the profile images, and now we have the images over there. Now if I should come back here and click on the profile and try and access the image, now we are going to see this image rendered over here. All right, so we are good to go. So with this being done, now let's see how we can link it up with our main dashboard over here so that we see the images and the profile we are supposed to see. So this was for admin. So let me log out over here and log in as admin1, and over here I'm going to type in my password, which is 1234, and if I log in, this is what I have. Now if I click on this, it's supposed to show me the data and everything I have over here, but then currently it's not showing me because I haven't done anything to the page. So what I'm going to do is I'll quickly have to come into my templates, and this is going to be in the users folder. I'll go to profile, and this is where I can start rendering in data over here. So as far as putting in data here is concerned, be mindful of the fact that when we are putting out data in a template, we use the double curly brackets. So I can do the double curly brackets over here, and I can say user.username. So when I do user.username and save, you can see that, or we are going to see that mark is going to change to the username that we have in our system, which is admin1. So let's proceed to do same for the email, and let me show you this before I do something for the email. Okay, so the email too is going to be user.email. Let me change this. So user.email. So if we come here, we are definitely going to see admin1@gmail.com. But for the phone number and address, it's going to look a little bit different, but then I hope you get it. So I'm going to do this, and this time around I'm going to say user.profile. And I'm going to say phone. Okay, so what is happening over here? Let me refresh and see exactly what we are going to see. Okay, so we are picking it over there, and for the address to, I'm going to do same over here, and I'm going to explain exactly why we are getting it as we have. So I'm going to say user.profile dots, and I'm going to say address. All right, so what's happening over here now with email and username? We're just using username dots user.username, user.email. Then why are we now doing user.profile.phone? And that's because of the manner in which we've structured our work. Now, if you should come back into our database, we realize that as far as our users are concerned, our users are stored in our user profile, or our users are saved in our user model. Okay, and based on what we have, that's what we've presented. Now, this profile is actually extending from the user, so it's like a child to the user, and that's what we see over here. So as far as this goes, we need to first go into the user. Then inside the user, we have access to the profile, and inside profile, we can have access to the address we see over here. Now, last but not the least, we also need to put in our image over here. And for our image, this also data, we are going to do user dot profile, and we are going to do dot image, and interestingly, we are going to do dot URL. Remember, I said the images are rendered as URL, so that's what you do over here. So we do dot URLs, and when I save this and come back here to come and refresh, you can clearly see our image shown over here. So this is what we have for our profile. Now, in the next video, I want to introduce you to what we refer to as signals. Now, if you find this tutorial very interesting, there are a couple of ways you can help me grow my channel. Kindly subscribe to KenBroTech, and don't forget to hit on the notification button so that you'll be duly notified anytime I release a video. Also, share this video with friends and families who will find this content very useful. As KenBroTech, we say learn programming, you can do it. And also feel free to ask any question in the comment section below. Thank you very much, and bye bye.